Hello everyone, and welcome back to Sports Talk with Sabo. It's pretty rare these days to have the doctor make a house call, but that is exactly what is happening on today's episode, because I am being joined right here at home with pitching legend, Dwight Doc Gooden. So without any further ado, let's get this interview started. Now Doc, you came into the majors in 1984 at age 19 with a blistering fastball and a curveball that was even better. In fact, your curveball was so good that your teammates gave it its own nickname, Lord Charles. What does it take to throw a curve like this?
I think I was very fortunate to have my dad as a baseball fan when I was a kid. He taught me the curveball. He always thought that it's how you throw opposed to what you throw at a young age, because when you're young, they say, wait till you get older because your ligaments are still developing, the muscles are still developing.
Yep.
But he taught me the proper way, the right time. And I think what helps with a good curveball is the mechanics, making sure it's coming out of your hand the same way as a fastball, but you're just changing the grip.
Got it. So you have had numerous awards and accolades in your career, from being nicknamed Rookie of the Year in 1984 to winning a Cy Young Award in 1985 at age 20. You were a part of multiple World Series championship teams, played in 4 All-Star games, and pitched a no-hitter. What stands out most to you, and what are you most proud of?
Oh, wow. As you mentioned, there's so many. If I can, I'll take 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Rookie of the Year, because you only get one shot of doing it. And
Yep.
for me to do it my first year, when I was a non-roster player, made the team because manager David Johnson trusted me, and then to win Rookie of the Year, make the All-Star team. And then from a personal standpoint, I would probably say the no-hitter with the Yankees, only because, like, my dad had been on dialysis for 15 years, and that day I pitched a no-hitter, I was supposed to fly home to be with him. He's getting ready to have open heart surgery because his health's deteriorating. They say he probably won't make it through, but if you don't have the surgery, he definitely won't make it. I had my ticket to go home, and the morning I woke up, I said, you know what, he'll probably want me to pitch, because all I remember is me and my dad going to spring training games, working with me and him on the field, learning how to pitch, and talking about taking care of your responsibility first. All these different things were going through my mind. And Joe Torres, the manager, I called him and said, I think I'm going to pitch. He said, no, go home, take as much time you need, be at your father. I said, no, I'll see you guys tonight. Then I called my mom, who said, no, you have to come home. Your dad is expecting you. He needs your support. You have to come home. And I ended up hanging the phone up on my mom because I was just feeling guilty. Went to the ballpark. The first 3 innings of that game, I was standing between the clubhouse and the dugout and the walkway, wondering if I made the right decision or not. And not until the 6th inning when I realized I had a no-hitter going, because I looked at the scoreboard, you see no runs, no hits, no errors, but I was looking to see what hitters was coming up. My heart started beating a little faster, and I was able to put my dad's situation aside. Ended up pitching a no-hitter. The next day, obviously didn't sleep. I fly home, take a ball to the hospital. My dad had the surgery. At that time, he was on life support, so he never made it home. But the last game he saw me pitch was a no-hitter.
Wow.
So I made that much special.
That's very wonderful.
Thank you.
You had a meteoric rise to the start of your career. Your first 5 years in the majors are arguably as good as any pitcher in baseball history. People were already talking about your Hall of Fame resume, but your career took a turn. This is a difficult question, but it is one I have to ask. Your drug and alcohol abuse has been well documented. As a result, you have been incarcerated, went to rehab several times, suffered through relapses, but now you are clean, clear, and seem better and stronger than ever. Do you have any regrets, or when you look back, do you think about what might have been different if this never happened?
Oh, most definitely. If I could have done it differently, I would have definitely asked for help a lot earlier. And I don't justify anything. I take full responsibilities of my downfalls and things like that. At 17, I was taking care of my family. I got drafted, so I went to them, but it was always, you'll be fine, you'll be okay. And unfortunately, I was believing my own lies. I was in total denial that I had a problem.
Yep.
And the constant relapse is because I kept thinking I'm gonna do things different this time. I continue to go to the same places, hang with the same people. So I kept getting the same results. Until I had to change everything. And when I mean everything, meaning some family members I can't go around because it brings back the memories, or they may be using or drinking and it leads me to doing it.
Gotcha.
So I just had to make that decision because, as you mentioned, been to rehabs, been to mental institutions, been in prison. The only thing I haven't been is a cemetery. I'm not ready for that. I have kids, I have grandkids.
Yep.
But at one time I tried to do it for them, it don't work. So I got to do it for myself. As long as I take care of myself first, that take care of everybody else.
So obviously you're talking about the young ones, and me being a kid, I have a lot of younger viewers out there. So, what advice would you offer to any younger viewers who have family members struggling or that might want to try and experiment with alcohol or drugs themselves?
I think we have a family member that's struggling. Support them, don't enable them. Always be there for them. Just let them know that you love them, and they have to want to get help. That's the only way you can help them. But just let them know that you're there if they need you. But if a young guy is struggling with drugs or thinking about experiment, talk to somebody and let them know why you have those thoughts. Somebody that you trust, whether it's a parent, family member, it could be a teacher, coach, whoever. But have somebody you can talk to, because unfortunately, we go through different things that lead us to that. But before you do that, make sure you talk to somebody and try to get it straightened out, because all it takes is that one time, like it did me, to become addicted to it.
Yep.
And you don't want to do that, because not only that you suffer, but your family members suffer, or your loved ones suffer as well.
So, with just a few weeks left in the regular season, both the Mets and the Yankees are batting for a spot in the playoffs. They're facing off against each other this weekend in what promises to be a very special Subway Series taking place on and around the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 tragedy. Do you still regularly follow baseball? And if so, do you think either team will have enough to get to the playoffs or make a run in the postseason?
I do follow baseball. I'm still a huge fan. As I was talking to your dad earlier, the game's changed so much. And I'm old school, I like the old way, but I still a fan. I still am a Met at heart. I root for all New York teams. And this series, tonight I'll watch the game. It's on Fox. But, the Mets, to be honest with you, I don't think they have enough to get them. The Braves are playing well now. The Yankees, I think they obviously got to get it turned around, because Toronto and Oakland is right there, and now Seattle's right there. So it's going to be a fight to the end, but I think it all starts and ends with pitching. Pitching has to come through.
Yep.
But I can see the Yankees getting there. The Mets, unfortunately, I think wait till next year.
Got it. So in 2016, ESPN produced a 30 for 30 film titled Doc and Darryl, documenting the nearly simultaneous rise to stardom that you and Darryl Strawberry had with the Mets, the substance abuse you both suffered with, and the impact it had on your careers. It seems you two have had a complicated relationship over the years. What are things like between the two of you now?
You're right. It's so many things that happened with me and Darryl. Like, it was like the rehabs. We went to the same rehab, same prison, same everything. But and you're right, we've had our disagreements. And one thing I regret with Darryl is a couple years ago we started doing it public through the media, which we both was wrong, because we should have just called one another and discussed it on the phone, or when we seen each other, discussed it. But we let the media get the best of us. We've talked since. I think at the end of the day, I do love Darryl. He loves me. And one of the things, when my mom was sick before she passed away, he was living in Orlando, which is about maybe like an hour from Tampa. He would drive there and pray with my mom. So that right there means a lot more to me than me and him going back and forth. But I think we learned from our mistakes about letting the media get in between us, and we just have a problem with each other, or hearsay. We just call each other or meet each other and talk about ourselves.
Wow.
But today, things are great.
Yeah. So next week, ESPN is premiering another 30 for 30 four-part documentary film about the 86 Mets called Once Upon a Time in Queens. Did you enjoy taking a part in the film, and what can we expect to see?
Yeah, it was great. I saw the first part yesterday. Spent like 6 hours a couple years ago filming, so it should be great stuff. And I saw the first part last night. Get to relive those moments with some guys that you spend more time with than your family. It's great times, man. Winning in New York is nothing better. So you got to reminisce a little bit about what it was like, and all the hard work you put in, and coming so close in '84 and '85, because then they didn't have a wild card. They had two divisions. So '86 was just great, and seeing the fans all involved. So I think people and the fans would definitely enjoy it.
Yeah. So now we will move on to my favorite part of the show. It's called the Quick Pitch segment. And here's how it goes. I'm going to ask you a series of short questions, and I want you to answer with just a few words.
Okay.
Good?
All right.
All right, let's do it. What is your favorite movie?
My favorite movie, unfortunately, I hate to say this, I don't care what it was, Scarface. I mean, it don't go with, it ain't my favorite movie. That was my all-time favorite movie, just to be honest with you.
What is your all-time favorite TV show?
All-time favorite TV show, Law and Order.
Who is your favorite actor or actress?
Denzel Washington.
Okay. Who is your favorite musician or musical group?
Well, Luther Vandross, even though he's no longer with Wiz, but he was always my favorite.
What is your favorite food?
Spaghetti.
What is your favorite car that you have owned?
Favorite car, I had a BMW, 850 BMW, and I had it, the kit put on it, and I had the roof topped off convertible. I'll show you afterwards, but that was my favorite by far.
Awesome. What was your favorite stadium to pitch in?
Shea Stadium, because there's nothing better than the fans clapping when the strikeout when I had 2 strikes on the batter.
Wow. Who was the toughest batter you faced?
Chili Davis.
If you were starting a team today, who would be your first selection?
Wow. Probably Fernando Tatis Jr.
Last question for Quick Pitch. You have an opportunity to invite 3 people to dinner. Your guest can be anyone famous or not, living or deceased. What 3 people would you choose to join you at the table?
Oh, my mom, my dad, and my grandfather.
Awesome. Well, that was great. Before we finish today's episode, I have one last question. You have really seemed to do it all. You have experienced triumphs and tribulations unlike most. How do you hope to be remembered, and what do you think your lasting legacy will be?
Great question. Obviously, I had my ups and downs, and so now I like to remember it as a guy, made mistakes, but kept getting up, kept fighting, was willing to turn the mess that I made into messages, and just never give it up.
Awesome. All right, everyone. That is going to wrap up this edition of Sports Talk with Sabo. I would like to thank my special guest, Doc Dwight Gooden.
Oh, my pleasure. Good job. And keep up the good work.
I will.
Thanks for having me.
Well, with all that being said, there's only one thing left to say. Peace out, Sabo-nators.